This is Art Television.
වැඩි දෙනෙකුට තෑගි දෙන්න අපි සූදානම්. සුපිරි වාසනාව. තෑගි රටා වෙනස් වුණා. තෑගි වැඩි වුණා. දිනන්න පහසු වුණා. අපි අලුත් වෙලා. සුපිරි වාසනාව හඹා ගියොත් දිනුම්.
NLB ජීවිතයේ සේනයට වාසනාවේ ආශිර්වාදය.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
අතන මෙතන හැමතැනම තියෙන සේවාවන් එක තැනකට ගෙන MySLT app දැන් සියලුම SLT මොබිටෙල් සේවාවන් වලට MySLT app හරහා එකවර පිවිසීමේ හැකියාව. SLT මොබිටෙල් එකම එක සැබඳියාව.
IWS Aviation.
A very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Mariam Vijayaratna. Let's have a look at the headlines first. World Bank pledges $80 million for the COVID-19 emergency response project in Sri Lanka. Finance Ministry announces. Unemployment rate marginally surges to 5.2% in fourth quarter of 2020, Department of Census says. News in detail. The number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Sri Lanka has spiked, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 135,796. Sri Lanka countered a surging number of coronavirus cases following the booming in the New Year cluster with 2,269 new cases recorded yesterday. According to Health Promotion Bureau statistics, more than 28,371 people are under treatment for COVID-19 at the hospitals and treatment centers, with 108,802 being the cumulative number of COVID-19 cases recovered and discharged in Sri Lanka. The Director General of Health Services, Sudat Samaravira, announced 24 more COVID-19 related deaths, bringing the total death toll attributed to the virus pandemic to 892. The head of National Operations Centre for the Prevention of COVID-19, General Shavendra Silva, stated that isolation orders have been issued on 42 areas in the Batticaloa, Trincomalee and Kurunegala districts. Isolation directives on the following regions will take effect at 4 a.m. on 17 Monday as a result of the 3-day countrywide travel limits enforced last night. 6 Grama Niladhari divisions in Kirankulam police area in Batticaloa district, 12 Grama Niladhari divisions in Kinnia police area in Trincomalee district and 24 Grama Niladhari divisions in Giriula police area in Kurunegala district has been isolated with immediate effect. Along with the government's island-wide travel restrictions enforced last night, the Western Province seemed deserted with only emergency utilities and food transportation permitted during this period. Vaccination centres in Western Province, on the other hand, successfully completed their vaccination services throughout the day. In addition, today at Sri Jayawardenepura Hospital, a vaccination program was held to give vaccinations to journalists in the media industry. Sri Lanka's government and the World Bank have agreed to include an extra $80.5 million financial assistance to help the country procure and distribute COVID-19 vaccines. The agreement was signed between Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, S.R. Artigala, and World Bank Country Director for Sri Lanka, Faris Haddad Sherwoz, yesterday. The second round of funding for the COVID-19 emergency response and health system preparedness project will go into purchasing and deploying safe and durable COVID-19 vaccines that meet the World Bank's vaccine approval criteria. The COVID-19 emergency response and health system preparedness project, worth $298.07 million, has aided Sri Lanka's pandemic surveillance and prevention efforts. Project grants have since been used to finance essential works, goods, materials and consultations for emergency pandemic response and prevention projects such as the procurement of medical and surgical consumables. World Bank Country Director for Sri Lanka, Faris Haddad Sherwas, highlighted that all parties must work together to fight the pandemic. He also assures that the World Bank will continue to respond to Sri Lanka's health targets and emergency needs, and that the vaccine's successful implementation will aid Sri Lanka in protecting its population, improving human capital and developing an economy. Minister of Health Pavitra Wanyarachi also emphasized that the government of Sri Lanka is committed to saving the citizens of the country from the consequences of the pandemic. She also claims that the government has made strengthening and expanding the COVID-19 vaccine program a top priority. According to the minister, this useful and timely resource would assist the country in ensuring equitable vaccine delivery to Sri Lanka's eligible population. The Ministry of Health reviews the efficacy of 3 controversial COVID vaccines that have been licensed by the World Health Organization and are currently in use in Sri Lanka. The Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health has issued detailed recommendations on the Covishield, Sinopharm and Sputnik V vaccines developed to curb the rapidly spreading COVID-19 virus. Oxford University developed the Covishield or Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine in partnership with pharma giant AstraZeneca, with India's Serum Institute serving as their production and trial partner. This vaccine's prescribed dosage is 2 doses given over the course of 10 weeks. According to the reports, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is 81.3% successful in building up the human body's immunization mechanism against the COVID-19 virus. Minor headache, nausea, fatigue, cold or flu, fever symptoms, joint and muscle pain have all been documented since administering the Covishield vaccine. However, the report states that severe adverse reactions have not been reported to date, but such adverse reactions may occur for any drug product. The Sinopharm vaccine, developed by China National Pharmaceutical Group, is the most recent vaccine to be approved in Sri Lanka by the World Health Organization. The prescribed dosage is 2 doses apart by 4 weeks. According to data released by the Ministry of Health, the Sinopharm vaccine is 86% effective against COVID-19 virus. The most frequent side effect after vaccination is recorded as headaches. Dizziness, lack of appetite, sore throat, trouble swallowing, runny nose, vomiting, constipation and allergies have all been recorded on rare occasions. Sputnik V vaccine, developed by the Russian Gamaleya Research Institute of Epidemiology and Microbiology, recommends giving 2 doses separated by 4 weeks. The vaccine's efficacy is estimated to be 91.6% with side effects including irritation, redness and swelling at the injection site. Moreover, short-term headaches, chills, fever, discomfort, joint pain, muscle aches and nausea, indigestion and loss of appetite are commonly reported. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
ලැප්ටොප් දෙන සර්ප්‍රයිස් එක ආවනේ මේක තමයි නියම දිනුම මේ රටේ එන්න මල්ලි මේ ලැප්ටොප් fiesta SLT මොබිටෙල් නම් වින්දමා රීලෝඩ් සා බිල් පේමන්ට් දාලා ගන්න ලැප්ටොප් එක ලැප්ටොප් දිනමු අපි දැන් එක්කලා
SLT මොබිටෙල් මොබයිල් සහ හෝම් පාරිභෝගිකයන්ට රීලෝඩ් හෝ බිල් ගෙවන සෑම රුපියල් 50කටම ලැප්ටොප් දිනා ගන්න අවස්ථාවක්.
SLT මොබිටෙල් සමගින් දිනන්න.
SLT මොබිටෙල් එකම එක සැබඳියාව.
වැඩි දෙනෙකුට තෑගි දෙන්න අපි සූදානම්. සුපිරි වාසනා. තෑගි රටා වෙනස් වුණා. තෑගි වැඩි වුණා. දිනන්න පහසු වුණා. අපි අලුත් වෙලා. සුපිරි වාසනා හඹා ගියොත් දිනුම්.
NLB ජීවිතයේ සේනයට වාසනාවේ ආශිර්වාදය.
Welcome back after the break. The unemployment rate has slightly increased from 2019 to 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 impact on the global economy. According to the Department of Census and Statistics, the unemployment rate in 2020 was over 5% during the year. Sri Lanka's unemployment rate stood below 5% from 2017 to 2019 and it climbed to 5.2% in the fourth quarter of last year. The projected economically active population in the fourth quarter of 2020 was 8.5 million with 66.3% of males and 33.7% of females. According to the 2020 labor census, there are about 8.4 million economically inactive individuals, accounting for 27.3% of males and 72.7% of females. By gender, the highest participation for males is recorded from the age group of 35 to 39 years with a percentage of 96.8%, while the highest participation for female is reported from the age group of 25 to 29 years with a percentage of 46.6%. The report states that 44.8% are employed in the service sector, 29.0% in agriculture and 26.2% in the industry sector. The number of people working in the agriculture sector increased by 115,138 in the fourth quarter of 2020 relative to the fourth quarter of 2019. According to the report, survey results indicate that the issue of unemployment is more pronounced in the case of educated females than educated males, which has been seen consistently in previous survey rounds as well. The report also claims that the study was based on data obtained from 6,440 housing units in a quarterly survey. The officially recorded remittance flows to low and mid-income countries surpassed $540 billion in 2020. Lead economist of Migrant and Remittances World Bank, Dilip Ratha, recently revealed that despite COVID-19, remittance flows remain stable in 2020, declining at a slower rate than predicted. The second round of funding for the COVID-19 Emergency Response and Health System Preparedness Project will go into purchasing and deploying safe and durable COVID-19 vaccines that meet the World Bank's vaccine approval criteria. The COVID-19 Emergency Response and Health System Preparedness Project, worth $298.07 million, has aided Sri Lanka's pandemic surveillance and prevention efforts. Project grants have since been used to finance essential works, goods, materials and consultations for emergency pandemic response and prevention projects such as the procurement of medical and surgical consumables. World Bank Country Director for Sri Lanka, Faris Haddad Sherwas, highlighted that all parties must work together to fight the pandemic. He also assures that the World Bank will continue to respond to Sri Lanka's health targets and emergency needs and that the vaccine's successful implementation will aid Sri Lanka in protecting its population, improving human capital and developing an economy. Minister of Health Pavitra Wanyarachi also emphasized that the government of Sri Lanka is committed to saving the citizens of the country from the consequences of the pandemic. She also claims that the government has made strengthening and expanding the COVID-19 vaccine program a top priority. According to the minister, this useful and timely resource would assist the country in ensuring equitable vaccine delivery to Sri Lanka's eligible population. Head of Research at First Capital Holdings, Dimantha Matthew, says that the stock market saw strong results this week from the materials sector. Speaking further, he also states that the stock market turnover was volatile throughout the week, with retail segment transactions recording lower.
Uptrend in the market and the highest gain was on Thursday, the last day of the week, with Friday being a holiday. Turnover levels, of course, were moderate levels around the 1.5 billion mark. So what you can see is that the retail segment of the market is waiting sort of on the sidelines. So what we are experiencing is number of transactions around the range of 10,000 to 14,000 range. So rather moderate to lower number of transactions is what we are seeing. We are seeing very strong results being released by some of the companies, specifically in the material sector. So bargain hunters seems to be buying into some of these counters. Also, we are seeing coming into the banking sector as well. So the turnover levels there also are increasing. However, the biggest turnover is coming from the material sector, and interest in the export related companies is also a plus for that.
That's all we have for today. Join with us again on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. for the weekly Biz Roundup. Have a great weekend. Good night.